We're back then for second half, independent off-tube studio commentary from the late Sunday kickoff at the GTech Community Stadium, where it's Brentford 0, Leeds United 0. We're underway for the second half. It was a lively 0-0 in the first half. Not too many chances, but certainly plenty of promise. Brentford with a lot of the ball, not too much to show for it. Leeds with a lot less of the ball, but actually a couple of decent chances. And they've won the ball back here straight away at the start of the second half, trying to push forward with Bogle. Nice nutmeg ball into the penalty area there for Calvert-Lewin. He has to check back and go back towards Jayden Bogle here on the right-hand side. Options here for a cross, but he prefers to go back to Joe Rodon, and then it's a huge ball into the box here from Ampadu, which is headed clear by Coyote. Still a fight for it in midfield. Stack heads it forward into the penalty area, and then it's with Calvert-Lewin. He hits the deck. There's a shot coming in from just outside the box. Calvert-Lewin looks back at the referee as if to say, well, I mean, there was less than that given for a penalty. I mean, yeah, that to me is based on what we saw in the first half, that could easily be a penalty for Leeds. But referee John Brooks for the moment isn't interested. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Kieran Graham taking you through the action.
I mean, how ironic. I just don't understand the consistency. I'm not sure if they're still looking at it. John Brooks, the cameras linger on him. If you're giving a penalty to Dango Ouattara for less, how is that not a penalty? Play continues. I don't understand that at all. That was more of a foul.
It was. No, absolutely. I mean, Dango Ouattara had an arm on him from Goodmanson and fell, and the referee gave a penalty. On this occasion, I mean, Collins had two arms on Calvert-Lewin. He was pushing him, and then he actually pulled him to the ground, and the referee wasn't even for a moment interested in that one. And as I say, it just goes to show how inconsistent it is. But if the referee had given a penalty for that, VAR wouldn't have corrected him. But Leeds win the ball back here in midfield, and it's Stack charging down the left-hand side into the penalty area. He's charged down by Henderson, and Leeds inside the first 90 seconds of the second half have a corner.
He's having a great game, Anton Stack. He had a great start to the season, then he was struggling a little bit in the 4-3-3. Since they've changed, he's been Leeds' best player really over the last three games, and that's impressive. When it's against the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, he's been really good. Got the vital goal to level things up against Liverpool, and he's going to be taking the corner.
He is. He's going to whip it in at height towards the 6-yard box. It's a sort of nervous punch clear from Kelleher, and then a volley towards goal from Tanaka from the edge of the area, but he sprays that wide and away for a goal kick. Just to remind you, the 2-11s, no changes at half-time, so it's Kelleher in goal for Brentford, back four of Coyote, Collins, Vandenberg and Hickey. Henderson and Yannick are the holding midfielders, with Ouattara, Jensen and Lewis Potter as the attacking midfield three. Igor Thiago is the front man. As for Leeds, it's Lucas Perry in goal, a back three of Rodon, Biol and Strauch. Bogle and Goodmanson are the two wide men, with Ampadu, Stack and Tanaka as the midfield three. Okafor and Calvert-Lewin are the two up front. Leeds win it back inside their own half, and it's down the right hand side now with Jayden Bogle getting towards the Brentford penalty area. Lifts the ball in, looking for Okafor. That's headed clear by Collins, but it drops straight to Stack, and then Stack goes for goal, but that's charged down by Coyote. The loose ball goes straight back to Anton Stack. He's been forced all the way into the corner of the field on the left hand side. Keeps it alive though and goes back to Goodmanson. Now it's with Ampadu. Getting away here from Thiago towards the edge of the areas. A bit of a push there on Okafor, but he keeps possession, goes back towards Tanaka. And it's now with Strauch. It may well be that this is what Daniel Farke said to his players at half-time. Don't be afraid to keep a bit more of the possession against Brentford, because they will let you do it, and straight away Leeds are trying to do exactly that.
They've had a great 3 minutes, haven't they, Leeds United, looking intense in their movements as well. They're not just passing for passing's sake, they're really trying to turn it into attack, into pivotal moments, and Okafor down the left-hand side, right in front of that Leeds away end, ball whipped in, and there's a header from Calvert-Lewin. He gets decent connection, easily saved by Kelleher, but a really inspiring start to this half from the visitors.
Absolutely, and if they can maintain that, they are going to put pressure on Brentford, as we see the effort from Stack, which was charged down by Coyote. It does strike his arm. In fairness, he's a yard away from it, and his arm's down low, so I would be surprised if there was going to be a penalty decision for that one, as there's a foul on Goodmanson there around about the halfway line. As Brentford going to get more and more frustrated here. They tend to like to dictate the play at home, and they've had nearly 5 minutes into this second half where they've barely been able to have any kind of possession at all. So from Leeds' point of view, more of the same. From Brentford's point of view, they've got to try and disrupt that as soon as they can. But free kick then to Leeds, taken short and taken back towards their defensive line. Now it's with Strauch. Plays a ball up to Okafor. Good control. He gets away from Otara. Does really well there, Noah Okafor. Now he tries to spread the play over towards the right-hand side. He does spread the play towards the right-hand side. Jaden Bogle with plenty of space here, getting towards the edge of the area. He then tries a cross, which is charged down by the feet of Aaron Hickey. And this will be deliberately let go for a throw here. So Joe Rodon can start play, but he's going to leave it here for Ethan Ampadu. He's going to try and launch this one into the box, is he? Yeah,
disappointing from Jaden Bogle that he's been a handful as well, hasn't he? Like I mentioned at the start of the game, much better going forward than he is defensively. And now he's not got a winger in front of him. He's just given the licence to use all that space in front of him. I just thought he could have really darted at his man that little bit more. It was all very obvious what he was about to do, which is why it was well defended. Long throwing now. Yeah, long throw from Ampadu to the edge of the 6-yard box. Vandenberg heads it clear. It comes down to Stack, who goes for goal. There's just a line of players ahead of him. That is charged down. Second ball into the box is hooked clear by Vandenberg before it's finally punted long here by Hickey up towards the halfway line. Bogle was back there. He cuts that ball out. There's a strong challenge there on Tanaka. Referee didn't see anything wrong with it. Then Hickey goes in for a second one against Bogle. He shoves him in the back. And the irony of that is that push on the back is going to be a free kick. But the challenge on Tanaka a moment earlier wasn't. Yeah, and he's back to his feet now. We'd have to see it back again. He might have won the ball on live view, and it seemed like a reckless challenge. You're going to see.
Wow,
I mean, that is a poor challenge. A really poor challenge.
That could be a red card, I thought, for Aaron Hickey. Wow. I mean, I'm quite surprised that there wasn't a quick purple VAR screen coming up on the TV pictures that we're getting, because to me that was a really bad challenge there from Hickey. But free kick to Leeds for that push in the back that Bogle got a moment after. Stack's ball into the box is cleared. It's kept alive on the left here by Rodon. His pass down that left towards Okafor is cut out by Dango Otara. He then plays a long ball out to Henderson, but there's just too many blue Leeds away shirts around him. He's got no way of keeping control. But then Tanaka slips and just presents the ball to Henderson, but that's really good covering there from Stroud to win the ball back off Jordan Henderson. He's got his arms out whilst he's still down on the ground, expecting a free kick from our referee John Brooks. But one thing is sure about John Brooks is that you don't really know what he's going to do from one decision to the next. Yeah, exactly. And I guess the two penalty talking points are the big ones that involve him as well. And yeah, I'm still confused by the penalty situation. I really am, and how Leeds haven't been given one, but Brentford did. And I generally think both aren't penalties. I do think both are not penalties. But if you're going to give one, you have to give the other. So, yeah, consistency is always a big thing that's spoken about by Premier League fans that we want more of. No, absolutely, and we're always impatiently waiting for that time when we can say that refereeing is consistent, but that may never happen. I think there's always going to be a bit of a grey area, and it's obviously just people doing the job, so there's always going to be a difference of opinion and good days and bad days, etc. But throw on to Leeds down the left-hand side. Goodmanson going back towards Pascal Struijk. Leeds have had 5 efforts in this second half already, with one of them being on target. 80% possession, albeit it's only a 7.5-minute snapshot. But now ball over the top here for Bogle. He breaks into the penalty area, just needed one more touch and he'd be able to have a go at goal, but it's Coyote who gets in his way, and he's able to clear that to the halfway line. But Brentford have got absolutely no outlet at all at the moment. They're just being hounded out inside their own half, and it's Jensen now that plays this back towards Kelleher towards the halfway line. It's cut out here by Ampadu, and it's back now with Pascal Struijk. This is a very dominant start from Leeds in the second half. Question is now whether they can actually turn that into a clear goal-scoring opportunity, because it's now on the left-hand side. Struijk thought about going towards Goodmanson, just plays it back in towards Rodon, and then leaves it here for Biol. Biol back to his goalkeeper Perry, who steps out of his penalty area, but there's not much Brentford pressure inside the Leeds half. And then Ampadu finding space down the right-hand side for Stack. Here is Bogle. Back in towards Ampadu. He's just trying to maintain possession. It's gone back to Lucas Perry. Thiago's closing him down, and there's Jensen and Dango Otara as well. But Ampadu's able to get the ball away. He's then caught in possession, and it's now Coyote who's waiting. What is he doing? I mean, there's a comedy of errors there. I mean, Ampadu was far too easily dispossessed, but then Coyote stopped. It's almost like he didn't know what to do with the ball. But Brentford now back on the attack, and it's Jensen with an overlap here for Otara. Otara's ball into the box. It's too close to Lucas Perry, who comes out and makes the save. Yeah, it's good goalkeeping in the end from Perry. It's been a really dominant first 9 minutes of the half for Leeds, but maybe just got a little bit overconfident with Ampadu there. He's never been the quickest, but he fancied himself in a foot race with someone who had a couple of yards on him initially. So, yeah, a bit naive. Anton Stack started this half better than he was in the first, and I thought he was the best player on the pitch. Tanaka's having a really poor half,
actually. He's made 2 or 3 mistakes so far for Leeds in this half. No surprise to see that Damsgaard has been sent out to warm up for Brentford.
Yeah, absolutely. Brentford, although saying that, if they're going to bring on an attacking midfielder, first of all, they're going to try and actually shore up the midfield. There's a break in play here now. A Brentford player is down on the ground. It's Matthias Jensen, so it may well be that they're going to be forced into a change anyway. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd be taking Jano off rather than Jensen had it not been for this injury. But if it turns out that Jensen can't play on, then of course it will mean that he's going to have to go off, and it's going to have to be Damsgaard to replace him. But I'm not even sure what happened to Jensen to even get this injury.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It could be just one of those from a little bit of a contact, an impact injury, or it could not be, as we just see an image of some Leeds fans watching the game from a hotel, I believe.
It's apartments that are surround the ground. There's apartments that overlook the pitch, and there are some Leeds fans up there in one of the top apartments looking down. As I say, I know Brentford fans that live in Yorkshire, so why not have Leeds fans in West London? It makes perfect sense. But Mikael Damsgaard is slowly but surely getting ready to come on here for Brentford. Just getting some final pointers there from Kevin O'Connor, who's been at Brentford since the mid-90s. Really has been at the club as a junior, as a player, and now in various guises as a coach as well. But Jensen is insisting he can come back on the field. And the fourth official, Tony Harrington, just checking that Jensen will be able to come back on the field. So although Damsgaard is ready, it may well be that they were always planning to keep Jensen on and take somebody else off for Damsgaard. Yeah,
exactly that. And Damsgaard's the one that screams out to make the most impact off the bench for Brentford. Can add a little bit of everything for them as Thiago wins his header. But when you're winning headers and you've got no one to play off, it's never going to work. And here come Leeds on the counter.
They do, yeah. Down the right-hand side here with Jaden Bogle. Just holds it up and goes back towards Rodon. Now it's with Ampadu. Just goes square to Strauch. Looks down the left-hand side here for Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson's ball into the middle was meant to be for Ampadu, but it's cut out by Igor Thiago. And then Henderson tries to clear his lines, but he was being closed down by Gudmundsson. His ball to Jensen. Jensen miscontrols that, and that's easily cut out by Biol. And now Leeds can go on the attack here down the left-hand side with Gudmundsson. He's been held onto there by Coyote. The cross comes in. Referee not interested in any foul, and it's going to stay in play here for a Hickey for Brentford to play down the left-hand side as the Bees look. It's now with Keane Lewis Potter. Been held up there by Bogle. Plays it back towards Sepp Vandenberg. Now he goes square towards Coyote on the right-hand side. He's over the halfway line. He looks for options. Plays it into Henderson. Back towards Coyote. It's with Nathan Collins. Brentford quite intentionally, I think, just want to slow things down and actually see a bit of the ball, because as we saw in the first 8 minutes, they were getting around 20% of the possession, but now they're just slowly getting into the Leeds half. And then there's an attempt to go down the right-hand side there from Dango Otara. I think he knew he played the ball too far ahead of himself, so then he suggested that it was Gudmundsson that got in his way, but I'm not sure he would have got to his own pass there anyway.
Yeah, he's quick, but he might not be that quick. I think it's the right decision from the referee. Just let play continue. Leeds just letting Brentford to regain a little bit of control in this run. I think Farker will be a bit frustrated about that. Okafor and Calvert-Lewin haven't got going yet in this half, struggling to get them involved, and we see Brentford trying to get in behind now.
They do, yeah, with Dango Otara. He's going to give a free kick away there. Surely the referee was waiting, and he actually allowed play to go on after all of that, but that might just be because he was going to give a free kick to Leeds anyway, but the ball ends up with Lucas Perry.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a nudge, put him off balance, and Lucas Perry did unorthodoxly just about enough, almost made a mess of it, the Brazilian goalkeeper. But yeah, I think the referee made the advantage sign after the ball went into the hands of Perry, so it would have been a free kick.
Absolutely. Here come Brentford again though. It's Coyote down towards Dango Otara, right hand edge of the penalty area. Ooh. And that is a foul. That's a nasty one there on Dango Otara, and Gudmundsson can't believe it, but he knew what he was doing there. I think that it was right in front of the linesman as well. I don't think John Brooks is debating whether it's going to be a yellow card. I think it's just going to be a free kick. But we'll see from this replay here as Otara has the ball, just tries to play it away. He's caught there by Gudmundsson. It's not some reckless foul, but it is a foul at the same time.
Yeah, and it was quite a clear one as well, wasn't it, from Gudmundsson? Clear contact on the boot, and now here's a set-piece opportunity coming up for the Bees. It's a great chance to get the couple of centre halves forward. Double change coming up. It'll be Rico Henry and Damsgaard probably after this free kick.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rico Henry would be coming on for Aaron Hickey or Lewis Potter, I would imagine, just depending on what Keith Andrews has in mind. But it's Henderson with a short free kick to Janelt. Janelt then lifts this ball into the box. It is an absolutely dreadful ball. If I could get any message to Keith Andrews, I would say stop telling Janelt to cross the ball into the box, because he hasn't done a good cross for about 3 games now, I think, in the last times that he's played. But there's going to be changes here for Brentford. And the first one of these will be Keane Lewis Potter. He's off, and Mikkel Damsgaard is on to replace him. So Damsgaard on to replace Lewis Potter on that left, although Damsgaard, I would imagine, is going to go into a more central role as he comes on now. He's got some gels and instructions there for a couple of his teammates. And the other change we mentioned is Rico Henry. He comes on for Aaron Hickey, so it's effectively a new left-hand side here for Brentford now.
Yeah, quite clearly something that Keith Andrews is spotting as a danger, and I think that's maybe credit to Jayden Bogle, because he's causing problems on that right-hand side, and he's obviously thought something needs to be changed. So Jayden Bogle has a couple of new players. Well, he's just danced away from the both of the new subs, so he's still got confidence.
Absolutely, yes. I think that there's no issue with him taking on those two players. I think the issue is going to be when they get on the ball, how he's going to cope. But he's had a very good game this afternoon. Jayden Bogle, a long ball played up towards Calvert-Lewin. He's judged to have fouled Sepp Vandenberg as he was trying to go for that ball. And the very surprised look on both Calvert-Lewin and Daniel Farke's face suggests they don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah, I guess he was just backing into his man, Calvert-Lewin, and yeah, we see free kicks given for those these days. So I'm not sure I can have too many complaints in the end. Just over the hour mark, it is still 0-0.
It's still goalless, and you always felt this game was going to see a few goals in it. It's not turning out to be the case. Both sides are trying to get forward, though. Leeds had a really good start to this second half. The last few minutes just tailed off a little bit for the visitors. They're going to win the ball back now, though, because Dango Otara is adjudged to have fouled Goodmanson. Those two have had a real sort of battle all afternoon.
Yeah, they have, and it's been a great battle from minute 1 to minute 62 between Goodmanson and Ouattara. Ouattara being one of the key players for Brentford going forwards, so it was always going to be an important duel. I wouldn't say either of them are really winning it at the moment. We've seen both make mistakes and have good moments, but forward ball from Leeds wasn't great, but now they're applying the press. They
are applying the press, and it's going to lead to them having a throw on in a decent position here as well on the on the right hand side as they look. It was a clearance away from Rico Henry. See how Leeds want to take this. It's was Bogle, but he leaves it here for Ampadu. He's actually going to take the throw on from this right hand side.
They actually have been quite long throws
from
Ethan Ampadu. Every time I've seen him do them before, that I've always thought, what is the point? But today, he must have been working on them.
No, absolutely. I say they're not quite as sort of powerful and direct, but in terms of the distance he's getting on them, there's a decent distance on these throws from Ampadu. And it is a long throw, and he gets all the way to the 6-yard box. It's a really good throw from Ampadu. It's cleared straight back to him. He takes a touch, thought about crossing, but then leaves it here for Tanaka. Tanaka's cross gets a deflection off Rico Henry. Still ends up inside the penalty, but it looped in, and that allows Brentford to at least get a couple of headers in and partially clear their line. Stack now has it at the edge. There he goes for goal. It's charged down. Just too many bodies in the way for Goodmanson. Tries to keep the ball alive here for Leeds on the left-hand side. He gets away from Coyote before Henderson eventually helps out. Coyote just body checks. Body checks Goodmanson, and then there was a run down the right-hand side for Dango Otara, but the ball won't stay in play. It's a throw on to Leeds. Yeah, and it's going to be a throw for Leeds once again, but Anton Stack, he must have had 4 or 5 shots in this game. He's never afraid to go for goal from distance. Of course, it was his shot from distance that forced the penalty on the opening day against Everton. Scored, not necessarily from distance, but he's a good ball striker from the goal against Liverpool. He's got a free kick against Wolves, so he's got it in his locker. He's just not had the look today. No, he's not, and as Leeds now, they win the ball back fairly easily actually. Brentford had possession, and then it deflects off Damsgaard as Leeds win it back. Brentford can't keep it in place, so it's still think that Leeds are making a far better impression in this second half. Brentford have actually had a spell of possession. They've not really looked particularly direct with it at all. So throw on to the visitors now on the left-hand side with Gabriel Goodmanson. Gets that one in towards Okafor. Goodmanson then tries one down the left channel here for Calvert-Lewin, but that was cut out by Collins. Just boots it out for a throw. I'm not sure that was the best thing he could have done there, but another throw to Leeds on the left-hand side, and it's close enough now for Ampadu to try and launch. I mean, I don't know where he's going from. I think he's just using the towel, but he's going to try and steal about 10 yards there, it looked like initially. It tends to be the easiest thing to get away with on a football pitch is where the throw-on's supposed to be taken from. Teams always manage to steal a few extra yards here and there, but referee was keeping an eye on where Ethan Ampadu was, and now he's keeping an eye on the 6-yard box. There's plenty of pushing and shoving inside that Brentford penalty area. Ampadu is ready now to try and launch this ball. It's another good long throw. It's flicked on by Janelt. It's inside the 6-yard box before it's volleyed clear acrobatically by Dango Otara back towards the halfway line. Bogle is back there. He plays it short over towards the left-hand side for Ampadu. Ampadu is, well, I thought he was going to get stopped by Jensen, but he just ghosts past him. He gets all the way to the edge of the area and leaves the ball for Stack. It's now with Goodmanson up against Jensen on that left-hand side. Goodmanson falling as he puts that cross in, and it sails out harmlessly for a goal kick. Yeah,
it's like a little pit bull at times on the left-hand side. Goodmanson, he might not be quicker than his opponent, but he uses his body so well. His cross, he's really poor. I think that was credit to the Brentford man who just nudged him a little bit off balance. If I was Daniel Farker, I'd maybe be looking towards Nonto for Okafor in this second half. I just think that makes so much more sense. More fresh legs. He's such a different type of player to what Leeds have on the pitch at the moment. It's just getting a little bit slow, and he would definitely add something new. Okafor, he's slowed up a little bit.
I think it's not a bad time for Leeds to make a change when you think that they've had a good start in this second half. They still seem to have a way to get at Brentford here and actually keep possession in the opposition's in their final third as they're attacking. So maybe just trying to spice up that attack a little bit at this time wouldn't be the worst idea. But a long throw to Calvert-Lewin. It's left by Collins, but just behind him it's Vandenberg, and he gets it back to Kelleher, whose long clearance is up to the halfway line. It's taken down here on the and he kept it in play there. Rico Henry, no, he hasn't. It wasn't the best ball from Jensen to him anyway. Out for a throw to Leeds on the right hand side. Jaden Bogle is waiting to take this one. His teammates are options here right now in terms of any kind of throw, but now he does try a long throw towards the edge of the Brentford penalty area. It's nodded clear by Vandenberg. Damsgaard with a second header, but it goes straight to Ampadu. Jensen then gets in his way before Dango Otara is dispossessed of it in any case. Calvert-Lewin now playing it back towards Bogle. He was under pressure there from Jensen, so it's now with Ampadu. Rodon joining this little passage of play, but then the 1-2 with Bogle, the pass back to him was far too strong.
Yeah, the actual football Leeds are playing this half, it's really impressive when we think about the away form they've actually had. They're just not getting the killer pass, not creating the killer chance. Brentford have been given a free kick for coming back from the advantages way further back than that, which is what John Brooks is just telling Damsgaard. But yeah, they look so confident, the visitors. They're just not creating the big chance yet this half.
They've not created the big chance, and are they going to regret it? Because for the time being it doesn't look like they will, because Brentford haven't been able to get into any kind of attacking possession rhythm in this second half at all, and they actually had the ball in the Leeds half before two passes later heading back towards Kelleher. He then launches a long ball down the middle, which won't be controlled by Igor Thiago. Henry is there though to try and mop up for Brentford on the left hand side. Damsgaard then flicks it up in the air but runs straight into Jaden Bogle. Bogle's ball forward is headed away by Sepp Vandenberg. Didn't quite get through towards Calvert-Lewin. Vandenberg now inside towards Janelt. Janelt switching the play out towards the right hand side here for Dango Otara. He's got an overlap here in the form of Coyote, but he prefers to switch play out towards the left hand side here. Damsgaard then plays it over the top. Jensen's into the 6-yard box. What kind of ball is that? It's overhit. No one's going to get on the end of that, but then it drops to Otara. Otara goes for goal. It's charged down by Pascal Strauch, and that is out for a throw to Brentford on the right hand side. Well, we're over the 3-quarter mark in this game. It is still goalless, but it's still a lively 0-0 game here at the GTech. It's Brentford 0, Leeds 0, and it will be Kieran to take us through to full time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. As we need to see this throw-in taken, it of course will be one of these big throw-ins from Coyote. Let's see if Leeds can deal with this or if Brentford can take advantage, as Thiago is just on his fellow Brazilian Perry, trying to put him off, launched in, headed away at the front post. Probably one of his more poorer throw-ins there from Coyote. And now they're forced all the way back to Kelleher. They just need a spell, don't they, Brentford, in this half, which they haven't had yet, of just pinning Leeds in, forcing a couple of mistakes, being dangerous. And we've not really seen Brentford be dangerous at all in this 70 minutes so far, but they've got the players at their disposal to turn that on its head, as we now see Jensen in towards Damsgaard. Ball down the line, it's a really good one towards Rico Henry. Joe Rodon has to get there, he doesn't. It's a mess from Jakob Bijol, and there's the goal from Brentford, and Jordan Henderson wheels away celebrating. Well, it's against the run of play, but the Bees will not care at all. Brentford have taken the lead. It's a mess at the back, and it's a simple finish, and it's 1-0 Brentford.
It is 1-0 Brentford. The home side will be delighted, but they don't deserve this in terms of how the second half has gone. It's a scrappy goal from Brentford. It'll be frustrating for Leeds, who've actually been pretty much clued up to what Brentford have been doing in attack most of the afternoon. But we'll see. There may still be a second. There may still be a twist to this, because Henry may be offside when that ball is played to him. But the issue I think there is for Bijol, because when that ball is played into the edge of the 6-yard box from Rico Henry, it just deflects off Bijol, and what he actually does is he tees it up for Henderson, and then I think he also helps deflect it into his own net as well. That might actually be hitting the post and going wide, and you can see Pascal Straug, he's got his head in his hands, because there are two big sort of helping hands or helping feet there from Bijol. That's pretty much an own goal there, I think, Kieran.
Yeah, I think it might be, as Jordan Henderson does the Diogo Jota celebration. Let's mark a respect from him. I'm not sure if they're checking it. Jordan Henderson's waving his arms about.
Yeah, they are.
And I think Jordan Henderson's waving his arms about in a sense of just because they're being told they are checking it rather than the decision being made. You said when you'd seen the replay that you thought he could have been offside, but the goal has been given. Big moment for Brentford, and they have taken the lead in this one. It's his first goal for the club.
It is first goal, and that's why he's done the celebration, because I don't think you do that every time, but in honour of his former teammate at Liverpool, but because obviously this is the first time he's had a chance to do it since that tragedy. He wanted to mark it in that way. But frustration for Leeds. I think that they've had a very good second half, but there's not been too much in terms of actually efforts on Kelleher's goal from close range anyway. But now we're going to see some changes here, Kieran, and it looks like, well, the man who's just scored the own goal is off, and so is Ayo Tanaka.
Yeah, and it's attacking changes. Brendan Aronson at Nantes, he's going to do what he did against Liverpool at 2-0 down and change to a 4-3-3, and that changed the game against Liverpool. Same unbelievable players around his slot side couldn't deal with the formation change of Leeds, and they're going to try and make it work once again, as Leeds have got us back underway. 1-0 to Brentford. Not a deserved lead, but they won't care at all. It's not about deserving leads or not. Unless, they could. It'll be tricky to see what actually happens. They might have actually gone to a 4-2-3-1 rather than a 4-3-3, because they've got 4 attackers on the pitch, have Leeds, whereas they've gone long now. Henry can't win his header. It's going to go in behind towards Ethan Ampadu, who brings it down with his arm, it seems, but nothing given. Brendan Aronson finds Nonta. That's poor from him. And then it's headed away by Rodon. Bogle, under the challenge from Jensen, does really well to come away from it. He's been bundled down, and it's going to be a free kick for Leeds United. Disappointing goal to concede for Daniel Farquhar. I think the goal is credited with Jordan Henderson for the time being. As we're just waiting to see this free kick. Anton Stack is the man over it, puts it into a really inviting area. He's headed away into a really good area for Brentford as well. Thiago plays it off Okafor. Well, Thiago stopped playing, claiming for his own throw-in. Well, it never even went out, so maybe he should have kept going for it. Okafor with the ball into the area isn't a great one. Now it's going to go in behind for Brendan Aronson, who takes a poor touch around his man. He's so poor from the American. He made a decent impact against Liverpool. He played his part in the levelling goal for 2-2. It's going to be a long throw to come in for Leeds, who, they've responded okay, but they've actually just played okay, quite well in this half anyway. It just feels like normal services resume.
Yeah, it just feels like Leeds are going back to doing what they did since the start of this second half, which is putting pressure on Brentford and trying to force the issue with a long throw now from Ampadu.
Yeah, and it's into a good area. Aronson goes for goal. What a save that is from Kelleher. He claws it out of the top corner. It seemed like a weird one, didn't it? It seemed like two players may have gone for a shot at the same time in Okafor and Aronson.
They did. It does seem like both of them were striking. That might have been hitting the post and bouncing back out, but certainly Kelleher from that sort of range couldn't take that chance. He gets hands on it, and it's now a corner to Leeds.
Yeah, and Anton stacks the man over it. He tries to put it in towards the front post. It felt like it was a structured one that just didn't really work in the end. Brendan Aronson keeps it alive. He's now going to go into Jayden Bogle. He's got Nonta on the right for company. He hooks it in towards the back post. Thiago heads it back into danger for Brendan Aronson, who brings it down. He looks to hook it in, and it's a terrible delivery from him. It's over everybody and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, out for a goal kick in the end. Brentford can breathe easy for a moment at least, but we'll see this again as I think that there's going to be a dubious goals panel committee meeting about this one. I think this may go down as a BO own goal, and now we're going to see the onside with Rico Henry. There's a little bit of grace there, but as I say, there wasn't too much in it, and I think it was BO that was playing him onside as well, so he's had a couple of he's had a big impact in terms of that goal.
Yeah, not great. Well, there, and I guess West Ham fans will be happy at the result at the moment, because if Leeds were to have got a win today as well as Forest, West Ham would have been in quite a bit of trouble. You feel ball towards the right hand side for Brentford. Ouattara tries a cheeky flick to get away from Goodmanson that doesn't come off. Well, the stats for Brentford see 5 shots for them, 2 on target overall. Leeds 11 shots, 3 on target, but the one that matters is the scoreline, and that's the one that, of course, Brentford have the extra number of. As we see, Collins looks to hook it down the right hand side. Goodmanson's going to go out, takes an okay touch. He keeps it in plays. He plays it down the left hand side, but he's actually just booted it out for a throw in. And Leeds, for as good as they've looked in this game, probably being the better side, they've never looked like scoring.
They've not. I mean, they've looked like they were on the cusp, but in terms of actually having a goalmouth scramble or a shot off the line, there hasn't really been anything like that for Leeds. There's a long throw for Brentford, headed on by Igor Thiago. Bit of head tennis, but now Leeds finally get it away.
Yeah, and it's going to come with Aronson, who's really weak in the challenge with Janel. Now it's going to be Jordan Henderson, whips it in. Thiago looked offside in the build-up of that, didn't find him anyway. Stack's going to carry it forwards for Okafor, who's going to drive. He's moved on to the left wing since the substitutions. He's on the attack. He's got Aronson making a great run that he's ignored. Lays it off for Anton Stack. Takes a touch. He's got Bogle for company. Uses Bogle. It's not a great ball into Jayden Bogle. He takes it first time in the end. That all just felt so rushed from Leeds.
Stack should have shot himself. There was a moment where he could have taken the ball at the edge of the D. He's got such a good shot. Take a touch, hit it. Instead of which, he sort of has doubts in his mind, and then he rolls the ball, and it's too close to Bogle. He can't do anything with it. He then panics and just slices it a long way wide.
Yeah, and it has gone quite a way wide in the end. But yeah, it's not a great ball from Stack. Could have definitely gone for goal himself as well, but didn't. 7.5 minutes on the clock. 1-0 to the Bees as they go along with the goal kick. Pascal Stark does just enough. Aronson just kicks it off his own teammate's knee. I really know what he was thinking with that one. Forward ball in towards Ouattara. He's well dealt with by Goodmanson, who's going to bring them forwards again. Ball into Okafor's a nice one. Here comes Okafor, who's starting to be a bit more dangerous off the left-hand side. He's going to drive at Coyote. He finds Stack, who's in acres of space, takes a few touches, then he goes for goal. I mean, he's becoming a little bit lackadaisical at times in key areas, and then Calvert-Lewin in the back post, can't get a direct header, and it trickles into the hands of Kelleher. Well, Stack's been Leeds' best player, but a couple of shooting moments, he's taken poor touches right before.
He has, yeah, but from Leeds' point of view in general, I wouldn't be panicking here, because Brentford are famously not great at holding on to Leeds. They're not a team that sit back well and soak up pressure, and Leeds have had the sort of the upper hand in terms of attacking possession in this second half anyway. So with 11 minutes to go plus injury time, this game is certainly not done at 1-0.
Yeah, it definitely isn't, especially with Leeds on top. Calvert-Lewin wins his header, but it's to absolutely no one apart from Vandenberg, who finds Henry. And it's going to be Kelleher. Takes a touch. He's going to look long in behind for Ouattara. Goodmanson wins his header, but weirdly gives it straight to Henderson, and that ball's going to stay in play. Ouattara gets there before Strauch. His ball chasing once more. Ouattara's in. He looks for the cutback for Jensen. Great defending from Goodmanson in the end, who has to clear it out for just the throw. Pascal Strauch defensively at times in this game has been horrendous.
He's been caught out there, but I mean, from Dango Ouattara's point of view, I mean, you've got the player of the month waiting in the 6-yard box. In fairness, Thiago probably moved a little bit too far away and was waiting by the far post. But now we're going to see a double change here for Brentford, and it's sort of defensive midfield. So the first change doesn't surprise me at all. It's Vitaly Yana, who's not had a great game distribution-wise this afternoon. He's off to be replaced by the young Ukrainian international Yeko Yarmolyuk. And we're seeing Christopher Ayer. He's going to be coming on in defence for Brentford as well. Yeah,
it kind of tells you the story of what Brentford are going to do for the remainder of this.
Sit back even more than what they have been, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And Jensen's going to be the other man to make way. So two central midfielders going off for
a defensive midfielder and a centre-back stroke right-back. So really this may well be Brentford going to a 5 at the back now as well.
Yeah, definitely could be. And it's going to be a long throw-in though, and Christopher Ayer probably with that in mind as well to try and attack this, because he's a giant.
Well, he's also a deputy for Coyote in terms of taking long throws himself, but it's Coyote's long ball into the 6-yard box.
And it's a decent one. Calvert-Lewin gets up there though. Brendan Aronson's terrible header back into his own area. Pascal Strauch then gets up. Roden gets there. Damsgaard looks to hook it back in. And Willie Nonto's let it bounce in his own area. That was risky, and then he volleys it away down the right, looking towards Brendan Aronson. Backed out of the challenge with Coyote. Puts it out for a throw-in. Bogle takes it quickly, and Joe Roden's on it now. You think Leeds don't really have any other attacking options on the bench to just chuck onto the pitch, apart from Pirro, who I'd probably put on now, get a decent finisher on there. Okafor, he's driving at Coyote, looks for the cutback towards Aronson, and his clearance is only as far as Stack, who looks to hook it back in. Calvert-Lewin nods it down. Stack once again. And now it's going to be with Roden, who finds Bogle. Opens it up, step over to try and come away from Henry. It's with Ampadu, looks to hoist it in himself. Calvert-Lewin gets up there. Bogle tries to keep it alive. He takes it off. The shot of Anton Stack. Now it's Ampadu in towards Willie Nonto. We've not seen a lot of him. He's playing in a more unnatural right-hand side position. Nice turn. Finds Ampadu. First time cross isn't a great one. Easily headed away by Ayer. And now Roden wins it back for Leeds, and Leeds just pinning in Brentford for the time being, looking for a leveler. Ampadu down the right for Willie Nonto, back towards Ethan Ampadu. Here's a chance for Leeds. Ampadu opens it up, goes for goal, blocked again. How many times have we seen that so far from Brentford defensively? Nonto into a great area for Calvert-Lewin with a header, and it was coming for Leeds United, and it's a big header for Calvert-Lewin. Great ball into the area, and Leeds are level.
Leeds are level, and Leeds have been knocking on the door. They've not actually had that many clear-cut chances, but finally a ball into the 6-yard box. Brentford's marking is as open as ever, and Calvert-Lewin is able to nod in, and with 8 minutes to go plus a bit of injury time, there could still be a winner in this game.
Yeah, there could. And Leeds United, we'd said they were knocking on the door. It was just patient, a bit more patient from Leeds this time. Ampadu went for goal, but he'd won it back so well, and I mean, Nonto whips in, he's onside. He's Calvert-Lewin as well, he's way onside. But what a ball that is from Nonto.
It's a great ball from Nonto, but what is Vandenberg doing? If he just stands in line with his teammates, then there's an offside, and that's the end of that. But once he gets there, Calvert-Lewin, all he's got to do is just redirect that cross into the corner. He does it really well.
What a leap that is from Calvert-Lewin also. And the main disappointing thing for Keith Andrews is you've just made 2 defensive changes. You've instantly got open, and Leeds have carved you open. And now you're thinking, right, 8 minutes left. There's a real problem. 7 minutes and stoppage time. They're going to check for an offside. I think they're going to check for an offside in the build-up. Earlier on, I thought Calvert-Lewin was offside maybe 30 seconds before the goal. The goal does stand.
We never even got a chance to see one replay with an offside line, because straight away the referee points that there is no offside, and it is 1-1 with 83 minutes on the clock.
And it's 4 goals in 4 games. It's 4 in a row for Calvert-Lewin. Scored against Man City off the bench, scored against Chelsea, albeit a 2-yard open net, scored against Liverpool, albeit a penalty, and he scored here. Definitely the pick of the 4. It's a great header, it's a great leap, and I mean, we can't say it's not deserved.
No, I think from Calvert-Lewin's point of view, he's had a good game this afternoon. Daniel Farke has made the changes to give Leeds a chance to stay in the game and actually score a goal rather than just defend, which is what Brentford did once they took the lead. So that, as I say, Brentford, it does frustrate me, I think, with Brentford that they always try and sort of defend the lead, which is something they've never been able to do. It's just not part of their DNA. But Leeds now on the attack down the left-hand side.
Yeah, and Goodmanson's just all of a sudden got so much pace to burn, driving down the left. He looks for a cutback for Ethan Ampadu. Takes it, he's going to hit it from distance. Ampadu with a strike, and he puts it just wide in the end. Well, they've got the tails up of Leeds United at the moment, and Goodmanson, 84 minutes in, just driving forwards, and Ampadu hits it, and it's whiskers wide in the end. But he had the confidence, did the skipper?
He did, yeah. I mean, this is a really good strike here from Ampadu. And then the ball just flares up off one of the water bottles there behind the goal, making it seem as though it was deflected away. But it's a really good strike that from Ampadu, and Leeds with their tails up now. Yeah,
the Leeds fans are they're loving life in the corner as well. But if there was going to be a winner in this, it only really seems like one side at the moment. But Brentford do have the quality in attack to change that. Their goal came out of nowhere, so they can absolutely score another one. There's a long ball up towards Thiago, battling. Rodon's going to leave it. He brings his man down. I mean, it's clumsy, very, very clumsy from Joe Rodon, who gets away with it in the end. I don't know what him and Straug were doing there. Nantes played a risky back pass to Bogle as well, and Leeds have just started to unslop it in possession. A poor pass to Lucas Perry puts them under pressure, and his distribution with his strong foot's abysmal, and with his left foot, as expected, is just as bad.
It is, yeah. I mean, this will be really frustrating, I think, for Leeds, because there's not really been that much pressure on their defence this afternoon for long spells. And we see here Rodon just allowing a ball to bounce. I mean, he does get an Igor Thiago's way. Don't think there's enough in there to say it would have been a nailed-on free kick, and obviously it was outside the box. There was no danger. But here comes the long throw from Coyote.
Yeah, long throw into the area. Straug heads it towards the edge, and there's Henderson with a strike goal. He puts it wide in the end. So Brentford don't make the most of that one. Goodmanson's just gone down for Leeds. I think it's a bit of cramp, and understandably he's put an absolute shift in down that left-hand side. I mean, that burst of pace that he showed moments ago, a little bit unnormal for a fullback at this stage of the game.
Yeah, no, so that's, like I said at the time when we saw the goal go in for Leeds, it was Vanderberg that was playing everybody onside. As it turns out, he was actually closer to playing him offside than I realised, but it was still his fault that there was an onside there at all.
Yeah, goal kick for Leeds. Lucas Perry is going to send this one long, all the way up towards Calvert-Lewin, who's up there with Collins. He's done so well to win the header. I don't think I've ever seen a striker win so many headers up against Nathan Collins as much as what Calvert-Lewin has done today. Ampadu's going to look in behind. It's not a great ball, but it puts Brentford really deep in their own half with a throw. It gives Leeds a chance to move up the pitch and just get out a little bit as Henry has the ball in hand. 87 minutes on the clock. Brentford 1, Leeds United 1. Of course, a point would be massive for Leeds. It would take them 3 clear of West Ham, with Crystal Palace at home next Saturday. For Leeds, ball in behind for Brentford, looking to come forwards. Is that going to stay in play? It doesn't seem so. It's going to go out for a throw-in for Leeds. Goodmanson struggling.
Goodmanson, yeah, he is just hobbling around a little bit. Leeds have still got substitution options, though, of course. They've only made 2 changes, and that was in one go, so they can still make another 3 if they need to. And I think they're going to be looking at Goodmanson. He may end up just sort of having to sit down in a minute if this pain gets any worse.
Yeah, I don't think you need to risk it at this stage. James Justin is on the bench, and he's not played a lot for Leeds, but he started against Man City and actually played pretty well against Manchester City. I guess the only problem is, as I'm saying that, I do think James Justin is getting ready to come on. I guess the only problem is I don't think he's going to give you the attacking output that maybe Goodmanson will, but
no, but then if Goodmanson can't move freely after the ball, then Goodmanson could end up being a liability. So it's better, although that long clearance ends up like being a decent ball to Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, and the header is won by Collins, but it's gone out for throwing, and the Leeds fans showing their appreciation to Calvert-Lewin. I think he's definitely growing on them at the moment. The goals obviously certainly help the case. You're just seeing a record or a stat for Calvert-Lewin. The most goals he scored in consecutive appearances was 5 in his time at Everton. I'd presume that was under his time at Carlo Ancelotti as well, because he was a real clinical force.
Yeah, that was a good period for him. But yeah, confirmation then that Gabriel Goodmanson is off the field, and it's James Justin to replace him.
Yeah, James Justin is on, so I think a more defensive fullback than what Goodmanson is, but of course, that's where you make those signings for cover. If there is a bit of a knock, Ampadu's got a long throw in and he launches it in towards the penalty area. It's not well dealt with. Aronson has just clattered his man. I mean, what is Brendan Aronson doing? He's been really poor since coming on. He usually is when I see him for Leeds, but I don't know what he's thinking there.
Yeah, it just seems like it's that urgency to try and get the ball back, but you've got to do it with some sort of sense there as well, because and it's right in front of the referee. It's one of those easy decisions for a defending side, just to get them off the hook, basically.
Yes, we now see Kelleher goes in towards Vandenberg. Now it's out for Henry. He's going to clip it in behind. Roden gets up there, wins Thiago in the end. Thiago's had a poor game, hasn't he? In terms of even when the ball's gone near him, he's not been able to hold it up. Nonto with a poor touch. Did he play that off Henry? No, he didn't. So he goes out for a Brentford throw-in. We could be maybe set for 5 or 6 minutes at a time.
Yeah, I think so. I'd be surprised if it was more than 6, and it shouldn't really be any less than 4. So somewhere between 4 and 6 is what we're both expecting. We'll get confirmation in literally the next 10 to 15 seconds as to how much added time there will be. And as we can see, Brentford are top of the league in terms of injury time goals, and Leeds are bottom of the league in terms of injury time goals conceded. So there may still be a little twist in the tail. We've got 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, and Leeds have had some poor moments late on. The one against Manchester City a few games ago. There was one against Fulham at Craven Cottage where they scored a comical own goal in the 95th minute. Goodmanson headed into his own net, but Brentford, they can use that stat to their advantage and maybe just try and pin Leeds in, because it feels like Leeds are the ones going for it, so they're leaving the space for Brentford to really attack. As we now see Vandenberg, Henderson goes towards the right hand side for Collins. That's going to be Coyote in for Henderson once more. Back into Coyote. He's going to turn away from his man. Ball down the right for Ayer. Options, just no real attacking urgency is there from Brentford at the moment. Not a lot of movement. 60 seconds has already been played of the added time. Justin's going to let it go beyond him. That didn't come off him. It goes out for a goal kick. Good defending from him.
Yeah, the ball was too long for Otara anyway, but Justin just needs to make sure there's not going to be any surprises there, and there won't be. Ball goes out for a goal kick, but now Leeds are going to make one more change themselves. And it looks like they're going to bring off Okafor and replace him with Harrison.
Yeah, Okafor's running a little bit gingerly, isn't he? So I wonder if that's the case. He's definitely had his injury problems before joining Leeds. He's stayed relatively fit since joining the Yorkshire side. Jack Harrison, I mean, he's still yet to win over those Leeds fans after the dispute between himself and the club. But of course he has a very famous moment with Leeds fans at this stadium. His goal keeping them up in the Premier League a few years back, of course, when Rafinha still played for the club. As the ball goes in behind towards Kelleher. Brentford seem to have control in these added time periods.
Yeah, it's almost like Leeds have suddenly sort of realised that they've got a point away from home against a side who do well at home, so they're sort of thinking, well, that's not a bad result at all. But it's just to say, it's that sort of mentality of backing off a little bit, and now Brentford have a chance to go forward.
And here's Damsgaard, he looks for Thiago, it falls to Wataru, goes for goal, and he puts it over the bar. It's a good chance in the end for Dango Wataru, but he can't direct it on goal. And Bogle, he's had a fantastic game, hasn't he? Almost just ruined that with a calamitous error.
He did, yeah. And again, I'm not sure that it was necessary there for Otara to hit that the way he did. He could have perhaps taken a touch, looked for a teammate. But yeah, Bogle there just needs to be a little bit more decisive. And say Daniel Farker, I'm sure he'll be trying to get a message out to his players just not to sit too deep, because there's still a good 2 minutes to play in this game.
Yeah, there definitely is, as Lucas Perry takes this goal kick up towards Calvert-Lewin. Both sides will just be desperate for that one chance in the remainder of this one. Stack trying to apply the pressure. Leeds haven't had any of the ball or any opportunity in this added time period to really come forwards and try and find a winner. Calvert-Lewin sliding in. He plays it off the Brentford man as well. That's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Great work from Calvert-Lewin. Brendan Aronson applauds him for it. The ball's going to go towards Ethan Ampadu. There's no way they're going to go long in this situation. Surely not. I mean, that would just be so risky. They're going to do it. I don't think they would. They're throwing so many bodies forward. Ampadu's going to try and launch this in. No one seems really convinced that he's going to do it in this sense, but I mean, this is from quite far out. If I was the Leeds players,
I'd have my doubts if Coyote could get it into the box from here, but that's a great throw from Ampadu, it finds its man. Was there a handball there inside the penalty area? There, I think there was.
Oh, what he struck it. I mean, yeah, he's watching it. He's facing the ball. You can adjust your body, and he's handballed it. He's controlled it with the side of his arm. I mean, what a waste from Leeds in the end of chucking bodies forward. Kelleher now goes long from the goal kick. Roden wins his header, and Damsgaard looks to hook it back in behind. Ouattara's on the shoulder of Roden, who's been bundled down. There's been no free kick given. Ouattara into the penalty across the face of goal. It's a vital touch from Justin. For Ouattara again, he's well blocked. Brilliant defending in there in the end from Leeds, and there's an offside flag in the end. They're unhappy, the Leeds players, about a challenge on Roden that wasn't given as a foul, but Leeds have got away with one.
They have got away with one there. I mean, there might have been a foul after all of that anyway, but we'll see here. Yeah, it's just an offside as that ball is played to Ouattara. And yeah, I mean, I think there probably would have been a foul on Roden there. For me, it looked like it could have been a foul, but the referee allowed that to go on. And then Brentford had 3 goes to try and get it into the back of the net before it eventually turned out it was an offside anyway.
Yeah, it certainly was. As we've got 10 seconds remaining, should be at least 30 or 40 seconds more to be played, as the ball hasn't been in play for the last 40 seconds. And as we see Lucas Perry ready to take this free kick, Leeds probably going to try and play for a second ball here as they go long, and it's nowhere near Calvert-Lewin. Nonto up front, so he was never going to win that. Stacker's clattered his own man. Calvert-Lewin's been pushed to the floor, no free kick given. I'm not too sure why. Strug then heads forward. It's not a great header. Second time of asking is a little bit better. Brendan Aronson tries to flick it on, and Brentford hoof it long towards Thiago. Justin heads away, and it's up for Thiago again, trying to hold it up, and I believe the full-time whistle has gone. It has at the GTech Community Stadium. Well, a really good game of football. Brentford took the lead through Jordan Henderson, but Leeds changed the system and found a way to steal the point, and Calvert-Lewin with a bullet header to get that point. It finishes Brentford 1, Leeds United 1.